David Rogers, High Country Sports. Emily, what kind of Kool-Aid did you eat? Did you drink at halftime? You really came out on fire in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think like we've talked about in the past, we've been struggling in the third quarter, and when we went in for halftime, Coach Sharp really challenged us, and I just knew I needed to step up to that challenge for my team and for myself. You know, I was kind of struggling, so I felt like I needed to step up whatever the team needed in that moment, and I think today was a good turning point for us as a team in the third quarter, and I'm excited to see what we continue to do.
Not to take anything away from your performance, but 21 here. I mean, really in the first quarter, really brought an energy. You threaded the lane in that first quarter, and to make that layup, and I think that's the point where things began to turn around for the team. What were you feeling at that time?
Well, I've been out for a couple of weeks, so I just had a bunch of adrenaline, and I just stayed ready and did what Coach Sharp brought me here to do. And, yeah.
Well, that kind of stabilized. What I thought was the deterioration of the first half, but then you came in the second half, brought that same energy, and that's when you really begin to the team really began to close the gap. I think. Did you guys feel that at all? What the energy that she brought?
Yeah, I would definitely say we were looking forward to her coming back today, especially she brings a lot of energy, especially on the ball and defensively. So I think she brought that spark and just was a good teammate, and we all kind of followed her today.
Ethan Baumgartner with App State Athletics. To the point of the third quarter really being the turning point of this game, what was the challenge that Coach Sharp put y'all on as far as coming out with a bang in the third quarter?
I would just say that we need to continue to grow in the third quarter. She comes in every halftime and challenges us, and today it was the same speech, but today I feel like we responded better. And I just feel like every game we're going to continue to do that, and she's going to continue to push us and be hard on us, and clearly it's working. I mean, we got the win today, and we're just going to keep pushing and keep fighting.
Any further questions? All right. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Obviously, I was really proud of how we came out of the locker room at halftime. That was a point of emphasis for us coming into the game. Now we maybe need to clean up the first quarter. I thought we got a little bit of momentum in the second quarter, but we really didn't look like ourselves in the first half. I was glad we kind of loosened up and played with a lot better effort in the second half. Ashley Hawkins is a really good guard, a really good player. She does so much for Gardner-Webb, and she single-handedly can keep them in the game. And they got really hot from three in the first half. And obviously, I thought our defense tightened up. We did better on the defensive glass in the second half, but we have a lot to clean up. I mean, way too many turnovers. We still look a little bit back on our heels against pressure. We have finished with 19 assists, I think, or 20 assists, but way too many turnovers. And I thought we left a lot of points out there, but it's good to see us to get into the 80s. These seniors mean so much to me in this program. Emily Carver, man, 27 points. She is the glue of our team, and I'm so proud to be her coach.
We'll open it up for questions.
David Rogers, High Country Sports. Well, speaking of Emily, whatever the Kool-Aid was that you fed her at halftime, you need to bottle that and patent it, I think. But what did you say to her to the team at halftime? What do you think it brought her real comeback kind of performance there?
I mean, honestly, it wasn't anything special. It was just I challenged them. Do we want to play the App State way? And do we want to turn ourselves into a good basketball team? We've got to find a way to win basketball games. And I challenged them before the game to play refuse to lose basketball, and I didn't think we were doing that. I was coaching communication, and I was coaching effort, and you're not a very good coach when you have to coach those things. And so I thought when your best player responds with those things, the rest of the team follows. And I'm proud of that group that started the third quarter. I thought they played with great effort, with great, just stick with it, and we showed a little bit of grit coming out of the locker room.
I told the players this a few minutes ago, but not to take anything away from Emily's performance, but I really thought the spark was 21 to Eleyana's when she took the court. She threaded the lane for that layup, which was pretty remarkable in traffic, and really brought that energy. And she did it again in the second quarter too. The first quarter I think stabilized. The second quarter really began to shrink the lead. Talk more about her role on the team and what she's doing.
Well, obviously she's been out due to injury and hasn't played in any games or scrimmages, and so we've been really patiently waiting to get her back because she gives us some downhill, some strength. On defense, she just plays with a little chip on her shoulder. She led her conference in assist to turnover ratio. She does a really good job taking care of the ball, but she has been so excited to play. I could have played her on Sunday. We made the decision to just hold her. December 1 was her official release date. When I told her yesterday that I was going to play her a few minutes, she hugged me and said thank you. She's been really wanting to play and make the most out of this season. She moved here all the way from Utah. She is an amazing person. I love that they gave us these to share in their culture. But I agree. I think I'm glad you brought that up. I think she brought a lot of spark to us, and she played with a lot of will to win, and we'll be looking forward to having her the rest of the season.
One final question for me, and at the beginning, before the game, what was your sort of expectation from Gardner-Webb, and what were you really thinking about as you were preparing for them?
Well, the one thing about Gardner-Webb is they do a really good job of spreading you out. It's hard to help because kids, sometimes they're really hot from three, sometimes they're not. We really caught them in a really hot first half, and Ashley Hawkins is an elite playmaker. I mean, she's preseason player of the year in the Big South, and she scores, she assists, and I thought we just had a hard time keeping her in front. I thought in the second half we did a little bit better job team defending them, but I think their coach does a good job of spreading you out and isolating plays, and we saw 33 kind of isolated us in the post, got us in foul trouble, and it makes it for a little bit of a tough matchup.
Ethan Baumgartner, the App State Athletics. Congrats on the win tonight, Coach. You kind of alluded to it earlier in your press conference, where it's kind of a tale of two halves. The first half, wasn't so hot, and then you turn around in the second half and you start off pretty hot in the third quarter, and you continue the way you found a way to win. What was kind of the mindset what was really the mindset and the turning point out of halftime when it was a tie game to end of the game?
Well, one thing that I believe in as a coach is you have to emotionally attach yourself to the game. And if you don't, you're just going through the motions. When you start to play with a little energy and a little juice and you're giving high fives and you're connected, all of a sudden you're making shots. All of a sudden things start going your way. And I thought they did that. They simply emotionally attached their game. They played with, emotionally attached themselves to the game. They played with will and want to, and the tide shifted for us. And we have that in us. I say it all the time. There's a team that lives inside of us that's really good. We've got to figure out how to bring that team and stretch it out closer to 4 quarters.
And one thing that I noticed, especially in the second half, you had Zeta play inside a little bit more. Was that due to just her handling and her ability to pass, because she entered the game with nearly a triple-double with 10 points and 8 assists? And could you just speak a little bit more on your game plan as far as having Zeta play more inside in the second half?
Well, we think Zeta Porter creates mismatch problems for people. She's actually really good in the post. She's got a great face-up, little fadeaway jumper. She's got really good footwork in the post. She makes good decisions out of it. She's also a really good downhill player. I think one thing I was really proud of is we set in my office and watched film actually late last night, and we talked about I really challenged her to play off two and make better decisions in the paint. Going back to our Richmond game, she shot shots, falling out of bounds, throwing it at the basket. Those are low percentage shots, and the higher percentage shot you can take more often in the game, the more points you're going to score. And she really bought into that, and I'm proud of that. Zeta Porter believes in me, and I really believe in Zeta. I think she's a really good basketball player, and she's really great in our system of play.
Any further questions? All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.